Good afternoon, everybody. It is March 10th, 2021. And here's how I saw the day. I didn't even end up drawing the overnight highs and lows. Are they relevant? Not too sure. Let's say it's right about there. Yeah, you can see that midline tends to, prices are bouncing off it a few times. So let me move this over. That looks just about right. So really, this was a range day, but that's not really how I was looking at it. I just looked at it as a break of this channel. You can see we have two legs of correction, and then two legs down to a new low. Two legs, and then that second leg down breaks, and that makes a new low. So, and then we've been correcting ever since that, which is about 8:30 a.m. So let's take a look at these trades that I marked. So 5 o'clock comes probably right about here. So no trades around here. I honestly didn't check the news items this morning. This looks like maybe there was a news item here. I gotta make sure I definitely check those out. And then right here around 6 o'clock, we get some serious congestion. Definitely no entries in there. No lower highs to go back into this congestion. The break back into this congestion fails. You can see there's a bounce here, and then we just bounce off the trend channel and just kind of fizzle out and break that channel. This is kind of like a channel down. You can see that. And then we get a second entry short, and now that I'm zoomed in, it's technically a third entry. To me, this looks like one leg up, a break, and a move to a new high. And that looks like a really good entry with that much room back to the EMA. We're bouncing off that level of resistance again. And if we move this down, that would make it a double test. So this being the first test, this one being the second. So I like the way this looks. We come down to these lows again and bounce, and that makes like a triple bottom right here, and then we come back and bounce again. And a lot of buyers jumped in at that point. Takes it to the midline of the overnights, and you can see we get one leg of correction. Really, this is just congestive. It doesn't look like two clear legs of correction here, so this kind of looks like a double test, but I don't know. It just feels a little risky. You can see that there's a lot. It's congestive, so I don't think you can jump in on this. Maybe the more advanced guys can, but I don't think that's a good idea there. Technically, this looks like a failure, but it's just looks too congestive. So we come up here, go slightly above the midline of the overnights, and you get a first entry, failed second entry long, huge, super bearish bar. I think it'll at least test these lows, and it goes quite further than that. I don't think you want to jump in on this lower high, too far from the EMA. And we bounce at this level, which is near the opening price, and that causes the correction, or this channel to break. And you can see clearly that's two legs back, but no setup to go short. And that forms a spike and channel down, and that breaks, and we just get really congestive and come down here. So you can see we get the spike and channel down, one leg to a new low, a leg of correction. I went short on here. I got trapped going short here. Oh, wait, no, I got trapped going short here. So this is a second entry short, but what I noticed, and I think this is why it failed, is that this was a leg up of correction. We get a break, and we don't get a new high yet. The new high comes right here. So I think that's why this was a trap. And then they just trapped the longs who thought, all these shorts are trapped, let me go long. And then boom. take it to a new low, and I think that's where we found a bottom. And this congestion, we break out, pull back, and rocket on out of there. No setups to go long. However, we get a break of this channel, and you get a first entry, second entry, and I wasn't very convinced on this bar because it looks like a doji, and that would be 3 bars stacked up with a doji. But then when you get this bar, I'm thinking it's at least going to test these highs. And 24, 25. Oh, yeah, perfect. That's a perfect scalp. 5 ticks. So then we come down here and you get a first entry, failed second entry long. That just sets up well. It's off of these overnight lows. After this break of this channel and a move to a new high, then we get this channel and a break. And I think, okay, so you get a break and a move to a new low, and that's a failed second entry long. So I think that's a good setup. I like that. That clearly looks like a leg down, 1, 2-legged pullback. First entry. You might look at this as a failed second entry short right here, but that's technically the failure is right there. But that does pretty clearly look like 1, 2 legs back. But at that point, you might be like, okay, well, we're just flip-flopping now, so it's tough to say. I don't think you can go long in here. We spike up, and that's actually a second entry long right there, but I don't think you can take it that far from the trend line and the EMA. You're going into the high of the channel, but it ends up being a good move, and we get an overshoot. After the overshoot, we get 2 legs up to a new high and a break. Actually, we get an overshoot that leads to a break, and then we get 1 leg up to a new high, 2 legs of correction, and then another leg up to a new high. So that makes sense that they're correcting. This right here is technically a third entry. I didn't want to go long here. Well, we didn't make a new low, so you shouldn't anyway. But I didn't want to go long because this looks like 1 leg down. So, and it didn't make a new low. So this looks like a 2-legged pullback, and that's why I marked this as aggressive. Looks like a second entry long. Signal bar is not great. We just broke. That doesn't look like 2 equal legs of correction, so there might be more to it. We had the overshoot, so that's aggressive. But then you get this higher low, very bullish. I like that entry. All it gets you is a scalp. If you go long up here, and that's actually very aggressive because you're going into those highs. And yeah, that's the midline, so that's actually very aggressive. Yeah, now that I'm looking at it more, not as crazy about it. I keep leaning back, so hopefully this sound isn't getting poor, but I don't see anything in here. This looks like congestion. This new high, then we reverse. Failed second entry long above the EMA though, so it doesn't really set up. This is very congested too. Probably going back to the EMA, which it does, but just too congestive. You get a first entry, second entry short. You might be thinking to go long at this point, and at that point you actually might have it steeper too, like off of those highs. Yeah, that makes it look really good. Yeah. But it's a doji stacked up. So I was also thinking about like the trade I got trapped on that I marked. It doesn't look like we had a break and a move to a new high. So maybe this is more supposed to be drawn like that. I don't know. That's a break and a move to a new high with a lower high right there. You can see it looks like we're rallying. That's all I saw before 12:30. Looks like a nice trap here. Failed second entry short. People who went early jumped in early, probably got trapped, and then it goes exactly where you think it's going to go. So you might have taken this on a failure, but they're just trapping people, so that'd be aggressive. So that's what I saw today. We'll take a look at the trades I took. So the first trade I took, it was a trap, and I got trapped. We already talked about this. I think what happened is there's a channel up and a break and no move to the new high. And we're not off a trend line here, so it's risky to be doing that. Here's the second entry short. Signal bar is not great. The reason I actually like this was it's also a failed second entry long. But that is aggressive, and I didn't mark that, so I don't like that. Too far from the EMA. If it was off the EMA and maybe a trend line, I'd like it. But this is, the trend line looks like it's like maybe like that, or I mean really what it looks like is that's one leg down, a break, and another leg down. So I mean this, it makes sense, it's just not a great setup. And you're going into the lows of the day. There is room though. It ends up working out, but not a great move. Okay, I didn't mark this. This is like a hidden first, failed second entry, and it's off the trend line. So I took this, but I don't want to be taking hidden second entries, to be honest. So I'm glad I took this one. This was a good one right here. I think I took one more. I definitely took one more. I don't know which one I missed. Oh, here. So yeah, I wasn't, this is aggressive. We had to overshoot, but when it didn't break and we get this higher low, I think this one's safe to take with the room to the highs. Yeah, this one's too aggressive, even though I didn't take it. I do wish I had to leave. I was at work when I took this, but I just put my stop like right here. So, and then we would have hit that. So 55, that would have made it an 8-point move. But that's why a few years from now, when I'm good, I'll just be at home doing this and I won't have to worry about stuff like that. So God bless everybody. Hope you had a great day, and I'll be back tomorrow.